may not be meeting. We're waiting for a final word from Secret to see how she's feeling. But if that is happening, that is on February 11th as well at 11:30 at the Belden's home. Any other announcements? Judy.
Two things. One, the bins down there, the green ones, they're not ABW bins. They're bins for everybody in the church. Whoever wants to take anything out of them are welcome. The ABW just takes responsibility of when they get full to take the clothing items to St. James where they're passed out. The second thing is in today's newspaper, I'll put this downstairs. There's an article about the Bollocks, who are one of our ABC missionaries there in Chile. The Bollocks work with the Mapuche Indians, or the indigenous, or what we would call tribal people, in Chile and Argentina. They work with them. They have a very high poverty level in the group. And it says they lack sustainable livelihoods. So that's one of the things they work with the local churches about, is one, helping these people be proud of their culture and who they are. And the other thing is to teach them how to have sustainable livelihoods. They spoke at the Grace Church in Bluebell, and the Bluebell Church, I guess, has a partnership with them where every 2 years they go down and do a work project. So I just wanted to remind you that if you're interested, we can help you find something to do. But if you go to ACOPAT or American Baptist Churches, International Missions, there are projects you can donate to. There are projects that you can go, and mission trips that you can go on to if you're interested.
Great. Yes, Gary.
Just to comment on this, indigenous people around the world often suffer because their land is taken from mining purposes, etc., by the government and corporations.
Yeah.
That's a big problem
Yeah.
for indigenous people.
Yeah.
That's big.
Just a reminder too, next Sunday, right after church, our worship team is going to do a quick practice.
sing to him, just like we did this morning. I like it. Okay. What else? How do we show God we love him? Can we give him a hug? Owen says yes. I mean, we talked about that a little bit. Okay, can we physically give him a hug? No, that's a little bit hard to do. Can we physically give him a kiss on the cheek? No, it's a little bit harder to do. But are there other ways we can show God that we love him? Remember, you get a treat if you get it right. Great. By loving other people. Good job, Judy. All right, by loving other people. Okay. What else can we do?
Doing his job, doing his work.
Doing God's work. I like it. I like it. Okay. All right. What else? Praying. You know I'm terrible at sports, so I'm not even going to attempt to throw this to you. All right. So good. We get the idea. There's things that we can do to show. That is not showing him that we love him, John. John just stole his candy. Okay. So we can show God that we love him through our actions. And we talk about that at home, right, Owen? That we can show God that we love him by being nice to our brother, by taking care of our friends, by making sure that we share our toys. As adults, that we treat each other with kindness, that we don't perpetuate gossip, that we make sure that we're always furthering God's mission and setting a good example. So, my prayer for all of us this week as we approach Valentine's Day, which some people love, some people don't love so much. I think it's a big Hallmark holiday, but do it as you will. It's a great day to show everybody love. All right, so my challenge is that as Valentine's Day approaches, you find clever ways, new ways to show somebody that you love them. And maybe it's somebody that you don't even know very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my 4 up here, and actually and stuff, maybe I can have you help too. We're going to hand out a couple more of these cards, and if somebody did not get a card with a lollipop, 1 per family. I have about 10 more in there. 1 per family. You're going to hand it to them, so go ahead, guys. And as I wrap up, this card, unless you're like John and already ate it, this card is to remind you to find a clever way to show somebody that you love them. Maybe it's just handing them the card, the lollipop, and saying, God loves you. Or maybe you already ate the lollipop and you hand them the card and you say, God loves you. Or maybe you find a new way to welcome somebody and embrace them. I'm going to give them about 10 more seconds to hand them out, and then we are going to pray together. Good job. All right, so find clever ways to spread that love. All right, good. Thank you. Thank you. All right, good. So let's close in prayer. Hold our hands. Father God, thank you for just showing your love to us no matter what, even when we have a bad day. Lord, I pray that you encourage us to show other people your love and be excited to serve you and spread your word, spread your love through new creative ways. Help us to remember you in our daily interactions and to always, always, always make a point to love one another. It's in your name that we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Liz. She's doing everything. She might as well preach for me this morning,
I'm
right?
out.
She volunteered.
She did great. And we thank you so much. And the kids can go on downstairs for Sunday school. Most of them are already down there. If you haven't noticed, we've been transitioning more towards having our kids still be here for the worship, but we'll be transitioning them a little bit more earlier in the future. Be downstairs with learning and having their own lesson, very similar to what we do each Sunday morning in worship. So, kids can go on downstairs. And will our ushers please come forward for our morning offering? do not understand. We do not understand the emptiness of accumulation, nor our desire to acquire more. Our desire is to live this year more fully and faithfully. It's even a mystery to us, but it is real. Our gifts today are symbols of our hope and inner yearnings. Receive them and transform them by the mysterious power of your love. For it is in your name that we pray. Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. You may be seated. We come now time to our prayer concerns, and I have all the yellow cards here from anybody. Jess, I noticed that you left one up here. I assume that was supposed to be for me. Okay, just making sure. There are many concerns you can see in the back of our bulletin. The ones that I want to draw to your attention that were just made aware to me is we want to pray for Jen West. We mentioned that last week. She had shoulder surgery, and I saw her a couple days ago. She's doing pretty good, though her asthma has kicked up a bit because of the medicine that she's been on. So she asked for prayers for better breathing, be able to sleep well. She appreciates that. She's probably watching at home. So Jen, we are praying for you, and glad to hear that the surgery went well. The other one I just got yesterday from Secret. For those who didn't hear, she unfortunately has the shingles. So it's very frustrating, but she has started the medicine, and she's in the antibiotics, and she's hopeful, Secret, she's hopeful that she wants to see you all on Tuesday for the daytime small group. So she says, so far, so good, but she'll let us know on Monday, I'm sure, how she's really feeling and if we're going to have it. But I plan on being there, hopefully, and that's at, I believe, at 11:30, if I remember right. So it's at 11:30, yeah, this Tuesday. So we pray for Secret, that she gets better from these shingles. And then the last one here is from Jess. It's for her, I'm assuming her friend Sarah. Her concern here is that she's about to lose her full-time job and is really struggling, I'm assuming, financially because of that. So Jess, we will be praying for Sarah, one of your college friends, I'm assuming. So we'll pray for Sarah for stability for her occupation. So let's go to God in prayer. Eternal God of love and grace, during this upcoming Valentine's Day, commercialized by chocolates, flowers, and candy hearts, grant me an authentic love, stripped of selfish desire and plastic facade, and shaped by a view of myself as you see me. Enable me to forgive and to ask for forgiveness, that I might share in the reconciling work of Jesus throughout creation. Teach me to harbor no ill will or resentment for wrongs done to me. And may the lingering effects of hurtful memories wane over time. Help me to deepen the friendships I have with those who are most concerned for my well-being. Strengthen my relationships with those to whom I can be best accountable for my actions, who can offer me godly advice, who love me unconditionally, and who can speak the truth to me without judgment or resentment. Grant me a heightened awareness of those around me who feel both unloved and unlovable. Make me an agent of loving hospitality, embodying the warm, welcoming embrace of your love for them, Lord. Give me opportunities to reach out to those who are lonely, frightened, confused, and distraught, that I might be for them what others have been for me. We think of those now who are in need of that love, Lord. We think of Sarah and the struggle that she's going through, Lord. She wants to be able to be learning right now at school, and she is struggling to keep a full-time job. I'm sure that's going to affect her own living situation, her time at school, time with her friends, Lord. So we want to lift up Sarah right now, that she's able to keep that job, Lord. And if for some reason it is your will to not have that job before her, that she's able to find one that is planned by you. Lord, we pray for Jen as she's recovering at home now from her surgery. She was in a lot of pain, Lord, and hopefully she will be off of that pain. The asthma has been really harsh on her, Lord, especially with this new medicine. And so we ask that she gets the right medicine, if she has to change over or stop. Lord, let it be your will, and let her recover well. Let her be able to sleep well. She says she's struggling just to sleep at night. And so we lift up the love and the offer that we can for her, Lord. And if it means us helping her out in some way, sending her a card, let us have that gumption to do so. And Lord, we pray for Sigrid as she just became aware of these shingles just the other day, Lord. And I know she wants to be here. She'd be able to worship with her family, her church family, Lord. But she's home now. She's getting the proper medicine that she needs. And we ask for a quick recovery for her. And that it doesn't take her too much out of the situation of her life, that she's able to provide for her family, and provide for her own home, provide for her church family, Lord, as we hope to have this small group on Tuesday morning. So give her that strength, Lord. And Lord, we take a moment now of silence to lift up any other prayers that others have.
Father God, I pray for unity in this nation. It feels like everything is being so polarized, and I pray that we remember that we're children of you first, and we're to walk in love towards people, whether we like them or not.
Thank you for the great blessing of two granddaughters, Kira and Grace, whose birthday is today.
Lord, I pray for my best friend up in Canada. She just became a grandma for the first time to a little baby girl. The part that I really need prayer for is that they live in Hong Kong. So this little baby is already kind of under quarantine, and the parents have limited time to get to see her. So I just pray for good health for this new baby, and for her son and her daughter-in-law, and also for my friends who will be traveling over there on the 17th, that everything goes well and for the safety in their health.
Lord, I pray for China and all of their own through this quarantine, this horrible virus that's being spread around. We ask that the doctors are able to cure this, Lord, as quickly as possible, and to keep people contained so that it does not spread amongst our whole entire world.
Lord, thank you for the birth of two great-grandsons this week. My granddaughter Lindsay had two boys, and they're all very healthy and smiling from ear to ear. Now, no sleep comes after a miracle. Thank you for bringing them safely into this world.
Thanks for my back, my knee is all tiring, and the infection in my tooth is not your bad. I want to tell you it's not infection in my tooth, it's infection in my nose. Right? But now it's scared. I just take Chinese and now it's good. Thank you, Mama.
Lord, thank you for loving me in ways that are both tenacious and patient. Work past the harboring barriers that I have built within myself, keeping me from experiencing the free flow of your love in my life. See through my self-assuredness, release me from doubt and disbelief. Do not be deceived by my pride, and love me through my guilt and shame. For in your grace I can find my truest and best self, as one created in your very same relational triune image. I pray these things in the name of Jesus Christ, your love made real. Amen. Hear be talking about languages and love. And to start us off, I'm going to have a video played, but just the audio. And we're just going to get that going right now. And I want you to listen very carefully to the conversation without watching the video.
همه شب در این امیدم که نسیم صبحگاهی به پیام آشنایان بنوازد آشناها. الف بداهچی.
Alright, so, could anybody tell what they were saying? No, right? I mean, unless somebody here knows Farsi. When it comes to conversations, no matter how kind the words that are spoken to you, and that conversation sounded very calm and present, no matter how beneficial the advice that is given to you, no matter how deep the love that is expressed to you in a conversation, if you cannot understand the language that is being spoken, you'll probably completely miss or even must understand the message that is being given. And we're going to talk more about that video at the end of my message today. But have you ever considered that there may be different love languages in this world? And that you may be speaking very passionately to your spouse or to your child or to your parent or your friend, and maybe saying, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you so much, but they may be completely missing or maybe even misunderstanding what you're saying because they speak a different love language than you. Gary Chapman has written a really profound book exploring this concept entitled The 5 Love Languages. Has anybody read that book before? Okay, great. So a couple of you have read it. I know I have. And that is what I kind of want to talk to you about this morning, the language of love. And today we're going to look very quickly at 1 John. So if you have your Bible, open up to 1 John. If you would need a Pew Bible, it's right in front of you. Or you can look up here on the screen, which is 1 John chapter 3. Verses 23 to 24. Now, John made this really profound statement that we all know about and that Jesus also once said. And he said, if I can click it and turn it on. There we go. It says, and this is his commandment, that we should believe in the name of his Son, Jesus Christ, and love one another, just as he has commanded us. All who obey his commandments abide in him, and he abides in them. And by this we know that he abides in us, by the Spirit that he has given us. So why is that commandment, that specific one right in the center, to love one another? Why is that so important? Well, it's because it is the core to our sense of happiness in life, which is the basic need to be loved. And the only place where love can possibly be experienced is in the context of a relationship. We can try our best, and we can love things. Like, I love my car. It gets me to and from places. I love food. But when the day is done, it's not going to give us that same sense of love that we have for the people that we care about in our lives. So think about it with me for just a moment. No matter how much that I tell you, I love you, I love you, I love you very much, because I do love you in my church. And if you do not understand what I'm saying, you may not even know that you are loved at all. And that is one of the most common problems in all relationships. Couples, though they are loved deeply, they may feel isolated, alone, unloved, and that their love is rejected simply because they are speaking in a love language that their partner does not understand. And the same goes for families. You try and show the love to your family and your friends, but not feel that reciprocation. And oftentimes, because opposites attract, most people marry somebody who speaks a different love language to the one that they do. And that marriage is inevitably in danger of producing two people who have no idea how much they actually love each other. Why? Because we naturally love others in the same way that we want to be loved. So to make that simple, let me give you a quick example of that. Let's say I want to build a piano for Liz, and because I know she loves piano, so I'm going to build this for her. It's going to take a long time. It's going to take a lot of money. It's going to take a lot of work, and I'm going to spend hours and money and all of that resources. And after hours and days and weeks and months, I finally complete said piano, and I say, Liz, here you go. I got you a piano. I made this piano for you. And she's all upset. Why are you upset? I just got this great thing for you. I gave you this gift, which is one of the love languages we're going to talk about. And she said, you could have spent that whole time being with me. You could have spent that whole time going to a concert that night. You could have spent all that time being with me on the couch to talk about how much you love me. And instead you were in the garage or wherever, making this piano. So here is two specific love languages clashing. There are millions of marriages that end every year due to isolation, and many times it started simply because they do not understand the other person's love language. Legal offices become overpopulated graveyards of marriages, and the first Valentine's card is simply the start of just that paper trail that leads to divorce. What happened? We did not understand love. And we did not understand that love can be a specific language. I believe that the deepest human need is to be spoken to consistently in one's love language. And that means we need to understand what these 5 love languages are. And I'm only going to really summarize them for you. So if you're more interested in this, I would suggest you go and get this book. And it really helped the beginning of our marriage for Liz and I, as our pastor at the time suggests that we read it and we go through it together. So, the first word that we're going to discover is the words of affirmation. Okay? Mark Twain once said, I can live for 2 months on a good compliment. And then for many people, the difference between feeling loved and not feeling loved is just simply words of affirmation. To affirm something literally means to confirm its truth and to strengthen. Solomon, the great Solomon, wrote that the tongue has the power of life and death. Many couples have never learned or realized the tremendous power of verbally affirming someone. And that is strengthening each other with words. So you would say, thank you. You did a great job with this. Or, I really appreciate what you did here. I appreciate the way you look. You look beautiful today, Liz. Stuff like that. It just all simply means, and translate, for someone with that gift, I love you. The second love language is receiving gifts. That's the one that I was making the piano, right? I wanted to give her a piano. For some people, if you want to say, I love you, they say so with a gift in their hands. To them, a gift is something that they can hold and say, look, he was thinking of me, or she was thinking of me, or she remembered me. They are expressions of love that shine light in an otherwise dark and lonely world. One of my favorite social media posts that I ever saw was written, and I think I have it here. It says, it's from a woman, always get your wife a snack at the gas station. If you think to yourself, maybe she doesn't want a snack, I'm telling you that you're wrong. Just get the woman a snack. They understand that gifts are expressions of love because they know that when a friend gives a gift, with it always comes a part of that friend's life. It could be as simple as a flower from the garden or even a snack at the gas station. The third one, acts of service. Acts of service are the things that people do to serve one another, to attend to a need, to assist with a chore. And for these people, the richest and the sweetest expressions of love are found in service. And let's face it, life is filled with opportunities to serve. And as these good folks will tell you, actions speak louder than words. And if acts of service is my love language, then I will show my love for others by wanting to do things for them at any time or anywhere. And the fourth love language is quality time. That's the one that I was mentioning that Liz has. And that's actually true. Last time we did this test, both of us scored high on quality time. Quality time is more than just a proximity, though. It's about focusing your energy on the other person. You know, talking to somebody while watching TV, working on your computer, or kind of reading the newspaper is not really that quality. Quality time is about being present. And, you know, how many of you know that there's more to being present than just being there, right? When dating couples, they go to a restaurant, they look into each other's eyes and they spend that quality time together. They always say a common first date is to go and see a movie. I think that's a horrible decision. You should go somewhere where you can actually talk to each other to make sure you're spending some quality time. That's almost high on everyone's list. You see, quality time is about engaging, about being a sympathetic listener, about sharing your life with another. And many people feel most loved when they spend that physical time together doing things that they love to do. You know, whether it's sitting on the couch and watching a show, or in having a conversation, or pursuing a hobby together. Quality time is a love that gives one of the most precious resources that you have intentionally and meaningfully, your time. Finally, the last love language is physical touch. And it's been rumored that a person needs 7 hugs a day to stay healthy. You know, we have long known that physical touch is a powerful way to communicating emotional love. And it's also a healing factor if you think about it. I think back, 20 months ago when Logan was born, and years ago when Owen was born, as soon as Liz gave birth to the kids, what's the first thing that the nurse and the doctors tell moms these days? Immediately, skin-to-skin contact. Take the baby, put it next to you, put it on the skin, because that is a healing process. That is a natural solidification of that relationship with that skin-to-skin. Many people feel most loved when they receive physical contact from others. Now, while for a married couple, one of the most precious expressions of this is intimacy, and the power of touch is something that we all need. I love this quote that I found. Whatever there is of you resides in your body. To touch your body is to touch you. So, to touch a person is in essence, it affects who they are, and they make contact with their soul. Real love doesn't take advantage or uses force in any way. It's gentle, appropriate, and it waits for the right time and place to be expressed. Now, those are the 5 love languages: words of affirmation, gifts, acts of service, quality time, physical touch. You might be thinking, oh, which one's mine? And I'll get to that eventually. Actually, I have tests downstairs if anybody wants them to find out. But those are the 5. While we all need to be loved in each one of these 5 love languages, we could probably say, I like a lot of those things, right? But we all have a primary language, possibly even a secondary one that we default to, and that is the most meaningful to us when it is expressed. Each one of us have needs in all 5 of these areas, but we have a primary love language that we speak more deeply than any of the others. And you might be saying, well, what if my spouse's love language or my family's love language does not really come naturally? Well, it's time for you to learn. It's as simple as that. Just learn what that is. When we choose to love one another, friend, family, we choose to love them in a way that meets their needs and touches their lives. In other words, we choose to speak their language and be there no matter what happens. Oftentimes, we as humans, though, it seems that we fall in and out of love constantly, and then we're in and out of love once again. And if you're not sure about it, you can just simply turn on the radio. As Liz actually was mentioning in her children's story, 1 in 10 love songs will tell the story of divorce or separation, or if you go to a country song, it's about 4 and 5, right? I think the reason that we fall in and out of love is because we have misunderstood what love is. It's important that we understand the process of love. We meet people throughout our lives, people we've never met before, people we did not know very well. Sometimes when you meet somebody, you kind of get that warm feeling inside your stomach, right? You know, that you're a nice person, you're a really nice person type of feeling. And sometimes we call that, you know, the butterflies in our stomach, right? I've got the butterflies in my stomach when I think of place. It's not something that you look for, not something you choose, and not something that's wrong. And that probably happened when you met your spouse or your partner. So we asked the person that gave us those butterflies on a date. Right? If they felt those feelings as well, they probably accepted the offer, and if not, they told us to get lost. And those feelings are just gone for both people. But if the date goes well, and that feeling gets more exciting, right? It gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's not long before we just go from the butterflies and we go to something called obsession. Right? During the obsession phase, we see only the good in the person that we're feeling for. Your friends can see what you cannot, right? I'm hearing some laughter. Your parents can see what you cannot. And during obsession, you cannot see those flaws in that person. Sometimes people move in or get married for just that reason, too. They do not love each other, they just simply have the butterflies for each other. They're essentially saying, this person makes me feel so good about myself that I would like them to spend the rest of their lives around me, making me feel good. Doesn't that sound really selfish? That's the problem. The butterflies, for a married couple, you know, they only last about the 18 to 36 months, and then it dies. Then it dies. And those types of feelings do not have a very long shelf life. Now hear me, those feelings are not a sin. It's not a deception in any way. They're put there by God. But do not think those slight feelings are the same as true love. Or else when you lose them, you will think that you've lost your love. The issue is that you can get these similar initial feelings, even after you're married, with someone else. Crazy, right? Crazy, right? It's crazy to think that way. And you probably didn't mean to, of course. You simply lost those butterflies at home many years ago. You went to work and met someone new just because a guy or a girl looked at you differently or in a way that made you second guess your own feelings. They talked to you and you thought, well, is this what love really is? I'm feeling that butterfly feeling. And you keep pursuing that person and keep pursuing in hopes to understand it better. And eventually that connection and those feelings, they turn into the obsession once again. But this time a new emotion emerges. Guilt. Guilt that you're betraying the one that you married or your partner and you've been with for so long. But you tell yourself, well, it's okay. And the next thing you knew, you committed an emotional adultery. You'd simply given your heart and you had committed that mental adultery. Those butterflies in your stomach for this new person because you no longer feel them at home with your first love. Now, though these initial feelings are exciting, it's short-lived and it's largely self-centered. The butterflies are not love. The Bible does not say, for God had the butterflies in his stomach for the world, right? It said, for God so loved the world. Love that truly contributes to our spouses or our partner's emotional well-being is based on specific understanding, intentional choices, and sacrificial commitment. Without these things, love will never go where it can and where it should. I'm not trying to call out anybody here. I'm just trying to make sense of what the difference of these butterflies and true love. So what is one to do with these false butterflies? You know, the easiest way to handle it when you're married or devoted to a partner is to take the cause out of that equation. That person who you're thinking of and having these new feelings for, it's time to stay away from them as much as possible. You know, stop talking to them. You know, take them off your social media, ghost them, as the kids like to say. Whatever you have to do. Why? Because you cannot help having those butterflies in your stomach, but you can decide whether to feed those feelings or not. If you feed them, they always evolve into that obsession, and we know where that road leads to, right? Deal with it one day at a time. Deal with it on day one. Cut it off. Now, what's the alternative then? Here's how it's meant to work for true love. You go from those butterflies in your stomach to the obsession, and then you have that covenant love with the person that you're married to. Covenant love is the choice that I make to love my wife Liz intentionally and consistently for the rest of our lives in a language, one of those 5 love languages, that Liz speaks. It says, no matter what happens, I choose to love you. It's a lifelong commitment. Not simply a contract, but a covenant. Our love tank is full and our marriage is rich when we have been spoken to consistently in our love language. Covenant love even has the power to rekindle those butterflies in a marriage or relationship that's failing or has failed. When you feel loved by your spouse in your own love language. When 2 people create a covenant to spend the rest of their lives filling each other's love tanks. And when God is at the center of that, you have the strongest recipe for a life that is full and satisfying. So as we see these 5 love languages that God has put into our lives, we come to see that love speaks all languages. And which brings us back to our video from the beginning. Give you a little bit of a history to it. This Iranian short film called Thursday Appointment. It won an award at the Luxor Film Festival recently, and you will see why, as I'm going to show it to you without the translation. Okay? But I think you'll understand what's happening in that story just from these visuals. I actually found the video with Spanish subtitles, so for our Spanish speakers, they might be able to get more of an understanding of what's going on to this. But honestly, you'll understand. Let's take a look.
همه شب در این امیدم که نسیم صبحگاهی به پیام آشنایان بنوازد آشنا را. الف بداره چی؟
اگر آنطور که شیرازی به دست آورد گل ما را
حواست کجاست عزیزم؟ چرا گفته؟
اگر آنطور که شیرازی به دست آورد گل ما را
Okay. So, what happened in that story? Anybody kind of summarize it for us? Love, yeah. But what was actually happening in that story? Oh, not you. You read it. Anybody else? I'll get to you, Frank, I promise.
He was remembering his life.
Yes. Yes, he was. Yeah, you noticed that the wife was not there at the end of that video, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. And he was reaching out to that young couple who's having a fight, trying to cheer up the kid, right? And I bet a lot of us had that same story in mind. And did you get anything from that, Frank? That we didn't read? Okay, yeah.
I couldn't read it.
Well, so it seems that we have a similar story, even though language was a bit of a barrier to us. This powerful short movie depicts an older married couple reciting the poem Hafez to one another in the car. And when they stop at a red light, they notice that couple fighting loudly with their young daughter in the back seat. And so this older couple makes a gesture that says a lot about their own marriage, about how married love can help reconcile and restore others around us. And what's really interesting is the fact that the flowers and the dates that are shown in the front seat, and when the camera turns back to the couple at the end, we only see, like you said, the older man driving by himself. We come to find out that his wife has passed away, and she's just a memory of him, to him. And for those that don't know, in Iran, there's a tradition that when you visit a loved one that's passed away, that you always bring flowers, and you bring something sweet like dates, and you also bring, you saw there's a little bit of water. The tradition says that you have to wash the gravestone with rose water so it always smells like heaven. And you bring those dates because you pass them around to other people, like the older gentleman did with the child, because of the two reasons, which is to add a little bit of sweetness in the moment of bitterness and sadness, and two, to request to keep your loved ones in their prayers. But it seems that our hero, who made the little girl happy, also wanted to give the flowers to the couple in order to spread that love as well in this way. So it seems that even with a language barrier to most of us, we could still piece together that video story. That's what God is showing us here. That love itself is a language to all. Sometimes it's through the actions that love can truly speak. And when love is evident in our actions, then it's pleasing to God. Let's pray. Dear Lord, loving you is the best thing that has happened to me. You've stood by me ever since that fateful day that I accepted your company. You've showered me with your pure love, blessings, miracles, and divine protection. In fact, this prayer is only due to your power, Lord, by which you kept me alive to see today and to make a request. I pray, Father in heaven, that you open the eyes of my family and my friends, and for the ones who love you like I do. Father, keep them both their eyes and mine open to your devotion and your adoration. I bless your divine name for this deep and short prayer for love. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Let us continue to worship as we sing, Let There Be Peace on Earth, number 681. Let's stand. to know what your love language is. I've taken the liberty to print out a couple dozen easy tests that you and your loved one could take, and I'll have them right downstairs for anyone that wants them. And once you take that test, let me know how it went. And I'd love to follow up with you on what those answers mean to you and your loved ones. Happy Valentine's Day. Go in peace.
Should I just have her call Hollinger? Oh, okay, so you took care of it. Let Hollinger know. Right. Well, and then she asked me, who the payroll company is. She gets a check from them every week. Why doesn't she? Uh-oh. Oh, no.
We got another problem.